I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of these phones and shit. But like I was saying, if you think that you're so great that you have to maneuver in ways and you have to do all these different things to keep someone else from moving, breathing, living, and functioning as you do, from enjoying life as you do. If you're so superior and you're so fucking great, why take time to shit on somebody else? Why take time to try to keep somebody else down? You're great. Why would someone great want to not see other great people? Hmm? What part of humanity is that? For me to say, I'm better than you. How am I better than you? If I take a 45 and put a bullet right here in my head, I'm gone. If I take a 45 and put a bullet right there in your head, you gone. None of us are bulletproof. None of us are going to live forever. None of us have any control over the grass and the trees and the air and the fucking water that falls out of the sky. None of us have any control over that shit. The things that we need to live. But I was talking about comedians and how comedians became a tool to keep your mind in a state. They're just one. It's just the comedian thing just got with me a long time ago, that I noticed that they became not just political, not cynical, not just, it wasn't about making you laugh as much as it was about planting seeds. And the majority of the seeds over the years that I see being planted are seeds of discord. I didn't think that laughter was supposed to be something that would lead to hatred or judgment or murder. Laughing is going to cause me to kill you. Laughing is going to cause me to think about how much better I am than you. Laughing is going to keep me from focusing on, hey, I need to go out here and dig this hole and create a channel for this water to run across my land. So it'd be easier for us to plant, to bathe, to do whatever it is we need to do with that. There's enough land for all of us. But the thing about it is, everyone going wherever you go on this fucking earth, and someone else says, hey, you can't go there. Why can I not go there? Because I own this. Well, how did you come to own it? I bought it. Well, who did you buy it from? And who did they get it from? And who did they get it from? Matter of fact, whose land is this? Did somebody create this land? Somebody, oh, but we developed it. We put a house over there. Okay, well, I put a house over there. Well, according to so-and-so, that ain't your land that you put your house on, but this my land I put my house on. You need to pay me. Is this thing running? You need to pay me. Pay you for what? If once upon a time people roamed all over this earth, everything was like this, That means I could walk from this side of the earth all the way to this side of the earth, and then at some point everything did like this, but it kept a pattern enough to let you know that at one time it was all like this. Now it's all like this, and there's a whole mass of some wet shit in between there. Okay? We was walking on land. Some other being might have been swimming around in the sea. But I don't see these motherfuckers on land going down in the motherfucking ocean talking about this part of the ocean belong to us. And the fish ain't got no business over here. And why you don't do that shit? And what is it? Maritime law and this law and that law, all this law shit, right? The law of the land and the law of the sea. All right. But did this. How is it that a motherfucker on land can dictate what's going on the sea? How is it the other way around? Somebody in the ocean can dictate what's going on land. You don't live in the ocean. That motherfucker live in the ocean. I don't live in the ocean. I live on land. Don't make no difference if I cross the land or I cross the water to get over here. If I got to a spot and it was open and available, and I said, hey, this is where I want to stop, this is where I want to settle, and I put my teepee up, I put my hut up, I build me a cabin. Wasn't nobody around when I got there. I've been here for a long time. Matter of fact, I was here before you. It's just like when you go fishing and motherfuckers see you catching fish. They on the other side of the pond. They see you over there catching fish. And now they done walk their ass all the way around where you at and want to get all up under you. Now why you do that? The water go all the way. You walked all the way around. Everywhere that you walked to get around here, you had to walk around that water. And there's fish in all of it. Why you gotta come get your ass right up under me? See, but that's the thing. You know, so my birth certificate, it says father's occupation, and under that it says farmer. Okay? Let's say everybody has a farm. Everyone in the US has farmland, whether they farm it or not. Everyone has land, and you're able to farm your land, and you're able to do as you want on your land. Do you think that if I can provide everything I need for myself and my family, that I would spend my time going over there fucking with you on yours? And that's really what it boiled down to. The motherfuckers who think they're better than melanated people, want to keep black folks down, want to keep every other human being laughing and fucked up in their thoughts and thinking all these and calling each other names and shit, calling everybody everything except a human being. Human being. Human being. I'm not a black man, I'm a human being. But I am amongst the human beings and the bloodline of the human beings who was here first. I'm amongst the bloodline of the human beings who are not as susceptible to the sun and the elements as some other human beings are. I am of that bloodline that has gone everywhere on this earth and not destroyed everywhere that we went. I am of that bloodline that has every type of craftsman, every type of scholar. How can the first minds, the first people to walk the earth come out lesser than someone that come out behind them? How could someone who knows the territory longer than you, better than you, be less than you? You shit and you roll around in it. I shit and I cover it. I have sense enough to know that not only can I cover my shit, I can also take that shit and use it in other ways. I've even paid attention to the insects and the soil and the differences in what they do with what, when, and where it is when they do it. All you paid attention to is, hey, I ain't never seen that before. I want it. You want some more shit. And you want some more shit. I want a Dodge Charger. I want a GTR. I want a Lamborghini. I want a 68 Cutlass Supreme with 4-wheel disc brakes and independent suspension and a convertible top and a 4-speed. With dual turbo. And crushed velvet interior. Yeah. I want some shit too. And I can't eat that motherfucker. What's it gonna run on? Oh, it's gonna run on gasoline. Gasoline? What the hell is gasoline? And where did that come from? You got Mr. Brown made fuel from waste. I knew as a kid when they started talking about recycling that recycling was going to be $1 billion business. Now, why did it take all this time for a young black man in the United States of America to make plastiline, plaster diesel, with all the garbage, with all the garbage strikes? I'm talking about the United States now. With all the garbage strikes that have been had, with all the barges of garbage and waste going down rivers, contaminating shit, with all the smog and pollution in some places, that a lot of that shit, while you running around across the world trying to steal from somewhere else, could have been utilized right here by all of the waste. But do you see a President Trump or any other fucking United States representative, senator, governor going, hey, we need to fund this young man? Or when there was no water and now you got another brother, Moses West, and he's going around helping. That's just two black minds. One in this generation and another in another generation. But each one saw something that they could do to help their fellow man. I don't believe that either one is as interested in being a billionaire as they are as being everything except a blight on humanity. Just those two guys right there are doing, as far as I'm concerned, have done more to help people born in what's known as the Corporation of the United States of America. They've done more to help. They've contributed more than anyone would give credit for, any one of those superior people would give credit for. But you know why they don't get the backing? You know why they don't get the backing? It's because of their blacking. Them being black. And what kind of shit is that? Aren't they humans? Do you think that if Moses West goes and sets up his water, sets up for some place that's been declared a disaster area and they have no water to drink, and he brings a machine and it sits there and it pulls, condensates, and hey, we got clean water to drink? Do you think he's over there going, we don't serve white folks. We don't serve Mexicans. We don't serve Germans. I didn't make this machine for no one but black folks. Have you ever seen a black person do some shit like that? Mm-mm. You see Mr. Brown run around talking about, I'm only going to sell this gasoline, plastiline to my people. Do you know why? Because we're all people. Some of us look different and act different and think different, smell different. We have different, a lot of shit. But we're all people. We are humans. The inhuman and the inhumane politicians, presidents, all of these people who I didn't choose your ass to run shit for me, but who claim to have been chosen to help these and fuck over those. If you don't have the interests of humanity in mind, if you don't have the interests of human beings in mind, and if your interest in preserving life and making life better where we live has more to do with picking and choosing who you want to breathe and who you want to dissect, no wonder you don't hear anyone talking about in God we trust. No wonder if there's a God to pray to, and if there ever was any influence that a God to pray to had in a school or in an environment where our young are being reared, you know, something to give them, you know, basic instructions before leaving Earth, you know? No wonder you don't want anybody to have that anymore. No wonder you didn't give a damn when they started burning Bibles. You didn't make a big fuss about that. But you want to take out black history, and you want to take out you want to take out the history of the people who were here. You want to take out the history of the history makers. How can you remove history, the history, from history? How can you do that? Because if you erase me and every fucker that look like me, eventually you're going to erase you. You have to. Because without no me, there would be no you. Everyone has the gene. Everyone. Now, if you want to talk history, talk history. If you want to talk ownership, okay, let's talk ownership. Do you own or were you given a loan? Because I've loaned some people some things and they act like it's theirs. They don't want to pay it back. They don't want to give it back. Have you ever loaned somebody something? And every time you see that motherfucker, because it's been such a long time since you let them borrow, you gave them that loan. But every time you see that motherfucker, they ain't trying to pay that loan. Every time you see him, you think about, hey man, I loaned this motherfucker something. I ain't got it back yet. Isn't there a time period for such things? Don't you have a time period for when you borrow shit for when it's time for you to return it? Don't you fuckers think it's about time that you return some shit? Don't you think it's about time that you return to where you came from? You and your people go back to where you came from and let the motherfuckers that was already here live in their shit in peace? How about that? How about that part? Where did you come from? Oh, if you want to claim all the way across the fucking ocean, but you over here, and you want to tell somebody else that came in the same manner that you did to leave, why you don't go? But if you can get me to laugh about it, you stupid niggas. Yeah. You can get me to laugh about it. You can get other people to laugh about the fact, do you know that I borrowed this motherfucker shit and I refuse to give it back? This dumb motherfucker ain't got sense enough to just take his shit back. Why, if I was him, I'd bust my head wide open to the white meat. Because I tell you what, if he try to come and take back what I borrowed from him, I'm going to bust his head open to the white meat. But no, instead of thinking about that, you know, we're going to think about who Blueface is fucking. We're going to think about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. We're going to think about R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. Yeah. We're going to think about all these untimely deaths. How the fuck all these musicians just start dying? Now ain't hardly a musician falling dead anymore, huh? Not the ones that you know and love. They're not falling dead now, are they? Because the ones that have been killed off, because I say they were assassinated. That's what I say. The ones that were taken out of here, were the ones who had all the things that they needed to wield their influence. And just like comedians, music, see, when they start killing comedians, and here's the thing, you think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about or where I'm going with this and shit. And here's the thing. I'm in my 50s, right? But wasn't there a time that there was some comedians who were so controversial and political, and I'm talking about like in the 70s and the 60s, that they were so controversial and they were so fucking political that motherfuckers tried to take them out of here? You don't think motherfucker took them out? I bet you there's some people out there who could think of some comedians who, man, that motherfucker was doing drugs for umpteen years and all of a sudden he just OD'd. You think a motherfucker gonna give you a hot shot? You think a motherfucker, man, let me tell you something I know from experience. A motherfucker will sell you anything. If you buy it, motherfucker sell you anything. Do you know money is not the root of all evil, but it's the root of most of it around here in this camp, in this country. Money is the root of most of it. Churches, every motherfucking neighborhood got a trap house. Every neighborhood got motherfuckers selling drugs. And some of them done snitched off on people so goddamn much that the motherfucker, when they walking around and a motherfucker with a real heart and soul, a non-snitching motherfucker still locked up, and this motherfucker walking around, they done snitched so much, they can't even sell drugs no more. So they out here selling bullshit. Motherfucker, open a bakery. Do like Mos Def did and make a motherfucker a cake. You already doing it. So open a bakery, bitch. You already selling motherfucking cake. Cause you ain't selling nothing else. You know how many motherfucking drug dealers out here is selling fake ass drugs because they can't afford the real fucking thing? That's how bad it is. And that's how much money mean to a motherfucker. You know how many motherfuckers is going to school, taking up trades even now? They took shop class and band and shit like that, and elective classes that actually would heighten your fucking intelligence level. They took all these things out of fucking school. Then they took vocational schools and turned them into some other bullshit. You know, trade schools where you can go and learn shit and get paid. You know. Then they talked about unions and union jobs and shit, but who do you see in the fucking unions? I worked at the fucking airport cleaning aircraft for I don't know how long. It was a while. San Antonio International Airport. Okay, so you know I can't be on drugs. You know I gotta be at work on time. You know I can't have any tickets or warrants or no shit like that, cause they'll arrest my ass when I come over there on the airport property. So you know I had to be clean as a fucking whistle. It ain't the only fucking job I ever had to where they're gonna test you randomly. They're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. But see, here's the damn thing. If you pay a motherfucker enough, and I don't care what the job is, if you pay a motherfucker enough and don't try to work them to fucking death and shit, you have a loyal fucking employee. But that was the thing. Everybody wants to be their own man or woman at some point. Everybody don't want to work for the next motherfucker forever. And then when things started changing the world, a lot of people could sit where I'm sitting right now at home, and they can make money for themselves and don't have to punch another motherfucker's clock. Guess what that made a motherfucker have to do? It made a motherfucker have to do what everyone would have to do if everyone had their own piece of property where they could build their own home, where they can create their own sanctuary for themselves and their families. It made them have to do what every farmer and landowner or person that had a plot of land to live on would have to do. It made them have to do the fucking work themselves, for themselves. So I grew corn this year, but next year it's sweet potatoes. And the year after that, I'm going to have some cows out here. And the year after that, I'm going to have some sheep. And the year after that, I'm going to have something else. And I'm going to have something else. And I'm going to have something else. On my 40 acres. And 40 acres is good for one person, for one family. Don't you think 40 acres is good for one family? I think it's grand. It's enough space to where I don't have to, I could open any one of my fucking windows and I don't have to look at you or 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 you. I don't have to look at anybody that's not in my fucking family, that's not in my tribe, until I get ready to. And then we'll go to the places where we all converge to trade or whatever it is we do. For the most part, I could worry about mine while you worry about yours. But no, we got motherfuckers running around laughing and judging and joking and wanting things they don't even fucking need to live. And we got the structure of the family. Ooh, man, they started fucking that up. When I was in elementary school, they was fucking that up already. My parents was proof of that. Once one of my grandparents that lived in a country moved in a town, I knew it was something going on. And it wasn't right. Yeah, it might have rained and motherfucker had to get a pot and put it underneath where the water was dripping in. Yeah. I know what kerosene smell like. Yeah. A wood stove can get hot enough to where you had to back your ass up away from it. Yeah. Skimming the dirt off the top of a wash tub so you can wash your ass. That ain't so bad. It's plumbing everywhere in the fucking world, and there's people walking around in the city that don't wash their ass at all. And it is some people that live in a place where they have plumbing and toilets and everything that they need to wash their ass, and they don't wash their ass at all. Do you know how many people I walk past today that smell like straight shit in a public place? And they was dressed nice. Smelled like shit. Like a motherfucker shit in their hand and just rubbed it on. I come out of fucking HEB earlier. Security guard was standing there. I know that security guard know my face. I know he know me as much as he see me come in that store. But I never speak to him, but I spoke to him today because I walked past motherfucker as I finished ringing up. And I was headed out that door, and he standing over there by the door. And I walked past this motherfucker, and I like to retched. And I looked at him, and I stopped. And I looked at him, and I said, now I know damn well, you know damn well a motherfucker know when they smell like shit. And he just fell out laughing. And I'm going to tell you why he fell out laughing. Because he smelt that shitty motherfucker too. You know damn well a motherfucker know when they smell like shit. Mm. Why would I be worried about you, man? I got work to do on my own shit. But nope. A lot of you lazy ass motherfuckers, you want other people to come and do your work for you. Cause you ain't never had the capacity, you ain't never had the strength, you ain't never had the will to do it all by yourself for your fucking self in the first fucking place. You've always needed to try to enslave some motherfucker and trick them or fucking get them to submit to do what you can't do by your fucking self, what you refuse to even try to do for your fucking self. You don't have the fucking wherewithal to stand it. You can't hang. But I know what you learned that you could do. You might not be able to hang with a motherfucker out there doing it. But if you hang a motherfucker, if you get a motherfucker in a bind and you manage to get them in a position and you don't really want to do your work, you don't want to do your work so bad, you'll actually tie a motherfucker up in a tree and hang their ass for not doing your fucking work. Because you done took them prisoner. You're not a fucking American citizen, you ignorant motherfuckers. We're prisoners of war. But you too busy laughing and joking. And a lot of motherfuckers is too busy being greedy over shit that you can't take with you when you fucking die. And if you didn't have the shit, you wouldn't die for not having it. But you will die for not having air and water and food and a clean environment in order for you to live. Those things you will die. I haven't seen a seed in a banana, a seed in a lot of fruit. Look what I'm drinking now. That's what I'm drinking. And water. Oh, and cognac. Mm-hmm. But guess which one I need all the time? I need the water and I need the juice. I got a motherfucker thinking about the wrong thing, man. Need to worry about the land and getting the motherfucker that don't own it from over control of it. In fact, run them the fuck smooth up out of it so that the land can go back to the people. And I'm pretty sure that once the system is torn down, these fucking laws and all this bullshit, this shit need to be rearranged. And whatever they were talking about the Constitution it had nothing to do with the motherfuckers that the land was stolen from. And that's why all that shit need to be rewritten. Let me get off of here.